Hi, I'm Dr. Tara Levy, and I am here to show you how to make your basic shake. So first of all, it's important to know you've got two options in the way you make your shakes because you're going to be doing them twice a day. You might not always be at home with all of your kitchen essentials. That being said, you can do this at home as well. So what I use often when I go to work in a rush or when I'm at my office is I have a shaker cup. You may notice in your kit that there was a little hand blender that came with that. I don't have it with me here because it's actually at my office because I do use that in the middle of the day. But you can also use a shaker cup. That could be a cup that's like this with a mixer ball in it. Some of them are more wire type mixer balls, and we carry those actually at B12 Love, or we will shortly. So those are an option for carrying, for mixing. You could throw your powders in there. And then I often will throw my powders in there. When I get to work, I'll add filtered water, shake it up, and I have an immediate afternoon snack. So that is one option. But today we're gonna make a shake in a blender. So I have the chocolate core protein powder here. Many of you may have the vanilla. This can work either way. First thing I always put in my shake is ice. Or I might use frozen berries. So I always keep berries frozen in my freezer. I also keep frozen overripe bananas when my bananas start to turn brown. Like, don't come over here and look at all of our produce. Our bananas start to look like this. I will peel it, cut it into thirds, stick it in a freezer bag, and get it in the freezer so it's always available for smoothies. So if you're like me and don't eat all your bananas, that's a good option too. But for this one, for the chocolate, I like to do a chocolate banana smoothie, so I'm not going to put berries in this one. But I am going to put a piece of banana that is already cut here. So I'm going to throw a piece of banana in there with that ice. I am going to throw in my 2 scoops of protein powder. So there's 1 and 2. So our ice maker, getting excited because I just took ice out. The other thing I like to throw in is some extra fiber. So these are chia seeds. You may use ground flax seeds. You may have some kind of fiber powder that maybe you are used to using. And when you add additional fiber, so this protein has 5 grams of fiber in it, but the recommendation for fiber is 25 to 35 grams a day, which most of us don't get. If you start adding it up, you'll realize how short you're probably falling. So I like to add some ground chia or ground flax to my smoothie, and I always start slow. If you're not used to doing a lot of fiber, it can cause gassiness and bloating and overall make you feel a little uncomfortable. But fiber is really important for keeping this whole thing in your system a little bit longer. It slows the absorption of the sugar, it slows the absorption of the carbohydrates, and keeps your blood sugar much more even. So since I do fiber almost every day, I'm gonna do a good tablespoon here of the chia seeds. Chia seeds are kind of messy, so you kind of want to keep them close because they get everywhere. But you might start with maybe a half a teaspoon and every day build your way up. Just kind of notice how you're feeling as you do it. So there's our ground chia, or not ground chia, excuse me, chia seeds. I will also throw in a handful of spinach because I like to throw some greens. I happen to have a Vitamix blender, which blends really well. So it'll chop that up really well. Depending on the power of your blender, you may choose to use a green powder. I often do that. But when I have fresh spinach, I like to do that. Throw it a little bit more. And then for me, I like to do a combination of almond milk and water. So first I'm going to pour in the water. And you notice I'm doing this to eye. Everyone has a different preference in terms of how much liquid you like. Also, the ice will melt and make it more liquidy as time goes on too. So I'm going to put in some almond milk. Always shake your almond milk because it will, the solids will sink to the bottom, so you want to shake it before you use it. The same is true with any of your non-dairy milks. I'm going to put that back. I'm going to put the lid on over here. Where's my lid? Oh, there it is. And I'm going to blend it probably for about 30 seconds. Settle. And then I'm going to pour it right into my glass here. Almost perfect. Tiny little bit extra. And there. I'm going to grab a straw. Shouldn't be walking over here. And there. we have our shake.